Hello and welcome back to Loud and Proud Orlando here on another Tuesday night for a Pride Pod with Luis. Luis, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Doing good. Obviously excited about the Pride win. 1-0. Pops with Pride against Bay FC. Seeing Morgan Gottrad back with the start. A phenomenal performance by Barbara Banda. I do feel like she could have scored a couple of more goals, but definitely really happy with the performance of the team overall and everything that they're building. The best team in the NWSL for sure. Finally getting some hard-earned credit by the pundits in the league. So I'm happy about that, John.
Yeah, I mean, another win. We're top of the table. We were top of the table until the Kansas City Current managed to win as well. And then they have just better goal difference than us. So right now we're both on 21 points. They've got goal difference of 10 and we've got goal difference of 8. So if we both win this weekend and we score more than them, Luis, maybe we'll jump back into first. But this game, Bay FC, a new team in the league, we'll go through everything that happened in that game. And then we're also going to talk about the Seattle trip they're going to be doing on Sunday away against the Seattle Rain, and everything else about Pride that we think of at the time. Luis, I'm excited about this team, man. I got to say, it's all clicking. Barbara Banda is here now. I expect to keep winning. So let's talk about Bay FC. The lineup was a 4-3-3-1. Morgan Gatra was back for this one, which was great to see in the D mid position. She played a really good game as well, but we didn't have any Marta starting in this one, Luis. Your thoughts on the lineup? Was there any surprises in there, or pretty much as we expected?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, to me, it was just great to see Morgan back. I will say that it's she made quite a difference. The whole game was all Orlando, the momentum, the attacking momentum. It was great also to see Adriana back. Kind of sad that they weren't able to have like a connect moment between Banda and them. But it was great to see Haley McCutcheon again. Like playing phenomenal. Summer Yates as well in the first half was fantastic. But I think the most imposing part overall from all the whole squad is the way they work defensively. They are. I mean, it doesn't matter who's in the back line, if it's Kylie, if it's Carrie, if it's Rafa, if it's it seems that everyone defend the we. I think we could say that Orlando has the best defense in the NWSL right now. So, I mean, it's outstanding. Where Anna has been taken from having a little bit of botches here and there to being a really solid goalkeeper in the NWSL to the whole back line, which I would say a lot of young talent like Emily and Carrie, and then you have Brianna coming off the bench, and you don't feel a difference of, usually, on the other side, of the pond, we see a little bit of like, you put certain player there and it kind of loses a little bit of momentum. This team is like full on pressing 90 minutes straight. Like they are compact, ready to go. Everyone's defending, everyone's fighting for the ball. So I think that to me that was the most impressive thing.
I agree. I think always the defense is like a great starting point for us to get a win. And this one, we weren't able to get multiple goals, but it was the defense that allowed us to keep that one goal advantage. Bay FC are definitely a team that have scored multiple. They've conceded a lot, but they score a lot too. So it was great to get the shutout against them. Would have liked to have scored a few more goals. We'll get into that a little bit when we go through the highlights in a second. First of all, I want to say drop your comments. Great to see a comment here from Jen. Greetings, guys. Happy for the win. Daniel Phillips also saying, I ran into Ali Lemos, not Lemos, Limos. I ran into
Limos.
Ali Limos on Park Ave on Sunday, and I think I startled her. She's an emerging star in our club. that's really cool, Daniel. It's great to
That's
see
awesome.
when
That's
they
fantastic.
don't realize that they're like that level of famous yet, and you're like, yeah, I know this person, and then you like, it's like I see Kyle Smith in College Park quite a lot. That happens. I'm like, oh, there's Kyle at Publix, So it's great when you see them out and about, and you get that interaction as a fan, and I hope she got an autograph, right? Did you take a picture? What happened with this? We want to know. Artix says, I would love to go to a Pride game. Do the players go by the supporter section? Not only to do that, they go around the entire stadium, right? Like, we get
Yeah.
to see them in all parts of the stadium at
The
the end
whole,
of the game.
yeah,
Like, if
it
you
was
want
great.
a picture or a signature or something like that, they are really good about that. Every week, Luis, I feel like we see on the Facebook or X or wherever somebody posting about one Pride player or another and how they signed something for their daughter or took a picture and really made their moment. So it's a great place to take your kids if they want to, if they're fans of female athletes, they can actually meet them after the game here and then all interact, and it's great to see. So we love that about this team. But let's talk a little bit more about the game, right, Luis? This one, the beginning of the match started out, a little rough. There were some yellow cards immediately right off the bat.
Yeah.
That was surprising, I think. The ref just in the 6th and 7th minute. If we go through the highlights, you can see definitely the one on Emily Sams for me is not a yellow card. I think I think that was just a really weak yellow card, and especially in the 7th minute. Like, why don't you just give her a warning or something? It seemed a little bit unnecessary to me. What are your thoughts on the early yellows from the ref?
Well, they came. Bake FC came, rough housing, and that's what it seemed like. But I mean, they lacked ideas. So, I mean, sometimes when you're desperate, you result to that, and honestly, Orlando Pride's defense, again, I will say it's fantastic. The pressing they're doing, how they're contesting for every ball, the high press on the opposing back line to put them under pressure, and then they make the rivals lose the ball. Like, Bay had no chance. I'm really surprised that this was a low scoring game. I think it could have gone like 4 to 5 nil if they really, if everything will click in the attacking third a little bit more. But I mean, it is exciting, seeing them play at this level. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if the NWSL put the highlights for the fouls, but we'll see. You know,
I can't remember. I was looking through through the ticker, as it were, through the timeline of those, because I remember watching this game live because I was there, and Luis, you were there, right, too, for this one.
yeah, definitely, I
Yeah,
was there.
you're working this one as well. So I remember being like, wow, the ref's giving out early yellows here. So maybe we'll see them in the highlights. J.A. Texas says, what did you guys think of the ref? Kylie Schramm had a couple of fouls against her, especially the first, and the no yellow was given. We just saw that on the screen a few minutes ago. It was a lot of like the ref. I don't know why, Luis, but it seemed to me like every time there was a set piece or anytime we had to like stop, the ref took forever to blow the whistle to like restart. And that creates like a lot of tension in the box. There's a lot of like, you know, a lot of that, pushing and shoving. So I think that's what's going on with Kylie. Like, she's trying to, make sure that she's muscling and staying in her position she's supposed to be in the box, and the ref was having a problem with the way that she was doing that. Again, it just seemed really, really strange refing for me, Luis. Right? I mean, we see this a lot in NWSL, but this one, I was like, what is going on? Some of the fouls that she gave as a yellow, and some of the fouls she didn't give as a yellow. We'll talk about one in particular later, but it just seemed very strange the way that she was like, where she drew the line.
I do want to say, and you could see it here in the footage. Great job, Orlando City fans coming and supporting the Pride. It was great. 7,700, I believe, almost, close to 8K. So I know that on the next game, hopefully we get to that 10K mark. Almost the lower bowl was filled up, so it was great to see. It was a lot of uh, people that is the first time watching the Pride, and going to a Pride game, and You always get the trolls online, but it's cool to see hardcore or OCSC fans just saying, "Hey, don't be a troll. I've been to a Pride game. It's fantastic. I love how the camaraderie that they have, and it's exciting and it's great. It's great to see so much, everybody being so positive about the team. And for me, it's a little weird because I've covered the team for so long. Like it wasn't like this all the time, right? And now it is. Like, it's coming into sync, in a way, kind of how Portland Timbers fans kind of go and support the Thorns type of thing. I think we need to get that going. And I think the more that happens, bigger crowds are gonna happen and more season pass holders eventually as the team keeps winning. Right, John?
I mean, definitely, Louise. You saying the years of you, I mean, covering the Pride, like that. It reminds me of the Bane. You were like born in the darkness, like for real. Like those early years of the Pride is very very hard times. So it's great to see. Now we're in the sunshine. Everything's wonderful and rosy. Team's playing well. The organization is turned around completely. We got a great head coach. We got a great GM. The entire club has done a 180, and is great to see. And everybody's on board, and this is the time to get all these people on board. There's positive things happening. There's lots of enjoyment. So the more fans we get, the more butts and seats. And it was good to see that this one was almost sold out. I want to say shout out to Juju, who's always posting stuff
Yeah,
about
Juju.
Pride,
Yeah,
and he was
fantastic.
posting. He posted on the day before a picture of the lower bowl, and it was like almost sold out. So like I think there's a lot of season ticket holders that don't come to every game, which is fine. That happens in city side too. But it was nice to see that lower bowl a little bit more full. I felt like the wall had a bit more atmosphere going on with the Black Swans, and obviously all the dogs. The pups with pride was super cute in the highlights. I was just like looking at all the dogs. I'm sure there's some people who watch the highlights just to see their dog, which I think is really fun and a unique thing to do that you don't see every day. You go to a game and there's a bunch of dogs around. I went in the wall. I petted some dogs. It was cool. I hung out with them, said hi, saw my friends. It was just a really good time, like it always is at the Pride game. So super encourage people to come out. Let's go on, Luis, to we kind of seen a minute ago. We saw on screen the Emily Sams foul. It was in the 7th minute. Do you mind going back a little bit and we can see?
It's right there.
Yeah, what she gave a yellow card. It just seemed like completely weak. I don't know. There's no consistency there from the ref. On to the 28th minute, if you would, Luis. So it should be 27 for you.
Oh, it's right
Um,
here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let me see.
we've got the Banda draws the penalty. Oh, okay. We can see the Emily Sams
There you
first.
go. Yeah. Nah.
Like,
No, that wasn't. That
look,
wasn't
and
a.
then she gives a delayed yellow.
Yeah.
Like, it's a delayed reaction to call the foul. Then it's a delayed yellow, and it's not a yellow. It's maybe a foul. I have to see it closer. She kind of just tries to get the ball.
Right there. Right there.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, it's
she
just.
goes
It's
for the
just.
ball. She stood there. It's like
It's
you
just a
stood on her
tackle.
foot. It's a tackle. It's not a yellow card.
Yeah. It's not. It's not a yellow card
And
for
it's not a
sure. I
yellow
mean,
card
I
in
think
the
that was a little bit.
7th minute. That's crazy. But anyway, let's go
Oh,
back.
it's maybe because I don't know. It looks like she
She's,
stepped on her a little bit.
I mean, accidental standing on foot. You're going to give a yellow in the 7th minute for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, the 28th minute, Barbara Banda draws the penalty. She wins the ball back high up the field in their box. Luis. Oh, here we go. This is on the counter. So we spring the counter.
Is that Rafa? Is that
Yeah, look at. I think it's Hoffa, right? She
Yeah,
goes
that's
way
Rafa.
up. She
Yeah.
she
Look at
she
that.
talks
Look
about how
at
she likes to join the attack. There she goes, and then she eventually lays it off. She's Brazilian, man. She's a skillful center back. Julie Doyle here. The ball comes back out to the edge of the box, and in a minute we should see the foul that we get from Barbara. She had another great game, Luis. Don't you think?
No, for sure. Yeah. She's cementing herself as being a top striker, you know?
Indeed.
Why is it so choppy?
I don't know what's going on.
It's like their feed is like weird. My internet is good. All right, so here we go.
Should be coming up. Oh,
Obviously, the Zambian
Chewinga.
duel, that was Kundajandi,
Yeah.
right?
Sorry, Chewinga. Kudonaji, yes.
Yeah.
She lost the ball high up the field. Here's Hafa. Lays it off.
There's
Here goes
Morgan.
Morgan. Yeah.
And then boom,
This is the
that's
old build up.
Adriana right there on the. Adriana was had a phenomenal game as well. I do want to say, look at that right there.
That's where she wins the ball back. So
Jeez,
Barbara
I saw that of the box, and
wins
I
it
was just
so
like,
high up there, man.
I
So
was
high.
like,
She
yo,
does that all the time.
she just like knocked them, knocked them. She's just not even our, not even OCSC defenders do that. Like that's crazy. So yeah, I mean, she's becoming quite an influential player, not only for the Pride but also for the league. Like she's, I don't know how defenses are gonna prepare for her. You know, it's gonna be tough for them. We've never had that level of player to play here in Orlando. I'm serious.
She's like a nine we've probably never seen before
Look at
to
the
play in
hustle right there.
purple.
Boom. Like, get out of here.
And they were calling for that to be a foul. She's shoulder
That's not.
barges are off. And then the defender,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know what she's doing there, but
that was a well deserved penalty right there. That was a straight up penalty.
and then if you
Uh,
go to the 32nd minute, Louise, because there was a bit of time, so it should be 31 and change um, before the Adriana penalty. I was surprised that Adriana was the one to get this. I thought maybe Summer was going to take it again, but she did a great penalty. I gotta say, bottom corner, absolutely no chance
yeah.
for the goalkeeper. Pick that one out, as I would say.
She came from a tough injury, and I think they're trying to, they give her the penalty maybe so she can boost her morale. So,
I think it was good. It's surprising that it wasn't surprising she got the start, but we saw more of the combination of her and Banda than like Ali Watt and Banda, like we've seen before. So I think they're
right.
trying to develop that partnership. And like you said, this is good confidence booster for Adriana. We know that she can be a great player in this league. We just need to get her firing now that she's back from injury and get her, into this team and make sure that she's an integral part of it because she's got that Brazilian flair, right, Luis? So she was doing some skill moves throughout this game, cutting in on her foot. They were switching her and Julie around from the left side to the right side, so she can be a winger or an invert winger. She's a real threat. So hopefully this is the beginning of Adriana maybe goes on a little bit of a run herself and scores some goals because in years gone past, like last year, we were very reliant on Adriana to be a source of goals and a source of attacking play for us. There's no reason, even though we've got Barbara and everybody else, we want her to be a big star in this team as well. So I'm encouraged by this. I think she's probably going to remain in the lineup going forward. Would you agree, Luis? You feel like Seb
Yeah, I
sees her
think
as an essential
for
part of
sure.
what he's trying to do?
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I mean, she was already very influential when she was without Banda, and I feel like now with Banda, she can play a little bit way more free in the attacking third, as a second striker or even behind Banda, also on the wing because she likes to still go on the wing. So I mean, she's a little bit more free to play her game, and she doesn't feel that much of a pressure. I feel like when she was the only striker, she will hold the ball a little bit longer than she needed to be. But I'm good. I'm good that they're trying to develop that partnership between them too, and it's gonna take some names, because they're two different types of players, right? But one thing that's a common denominator between them two, in my opinion, is they're both killers on the box. Like on the 1v1, like Adriana could do like a little nutmeg. She could do something crazy and score. And then Banda has that power too and the physicality that Adriana doesn't have. She has. So I mean, it's just gonna be really like a power couple in a way. You know what I mean? Right there up top.
For sure. Exciting prospects of what's going to come. Let's read a few more comments, Luis. Stream Jesus. He says, Jesus was there. Thank you.
We
We were
need to see
worried.
your, we need to see
Yeah.
your flag right there too.
I know. Jesus, I need to. I don't
The
know how I
Vatican.
ever spot you in the stadium. Do you wear your sandals and robe when you come to the
We need
game,
to
or are
see.
they like purple ones? I want to know what Jesus wears to the game. Something about the Pride women that Jesus says,
There was no underwear in
"Gosh, I
there.
love them." We love them too, buddy. That's true. Daniel Phillips says, "I felt so bad for startling her. I just told her she's amazing, and we're proud of her." That's about Ali Limos. I would have taken a picture if my daughter was with me. Uh, totally. I think that would have been a great moment for you. He said the Pride players always sign and take pictures. Get a ticket in the wall or section 6, 7, or 10 or 11, and you'll definitely get autographs and photos. So totally true. Daniel backing us up on what we're telling you there. So Daniel, good to know. Thanks. Says Artix. Stream Jesus says, I will wear the full Jesus. Okay, cool. Good to know.
Did
I'll
you
look for
feel?
you next Pride game.
Do you feel, John, that Barbara Banda's injury is gonna hinder, or do you think it's gonna? If you even think, I don't think she's injured, in my opinion. I don't know.
She was down for a while there after that challenge, Luis. And then I feel like she didn't come off though to the 89th minute. So it's not really like it was a problem. She got kicked in the head. Did you see that in the replay?
Yeah,
After she went down from this challenge, Oshwala, who is a giant, the
yeah.
number 8 striker for them, like basically he kicked her right in the center of the like almost like on the lip it looked like, and
Um,
so she was dealing with like that, and I think she may have had a little bit of like bleeding or a headache or something because she got hit in the head by a player even bigger than her. So it was a rough take for her, I think, but hopefully she's fine. She's I feel like things just bounce off her, right? I feel like she's one that's just going to get back up again and carry on going. Do you feel like that she's not indestructible, but a certain amount of resilience that Banda has?
yeah, definitely. Look. I think she's the type of player that when and I know part of my French, but when SHAT hits the fan, and you have to, um, it's maybe a semifinal, quarterfinal. Like I have a feeling that she ain't gonna care. She's gonna get right back up. She's gonna keep going. I think this game was overly physical, also, so she probably want to take a little breather too, in my opinion. I mean, not to say that she was faking the injury, but sometimes players do that. Pedro does that all the time. But so I feel like maybe she was just kind of like because I saw her fine with the Zambian connection with Kundajandi taking pictures after the game and everything. So um, she didn't seem like very injured. So I'm hoping that she's going to be part of the game against Seattle Rain.
I think so. Stream Jesus says he's gonna wear his suit one day and to come say hi. So
There you go.
we'll look for Jesus in his suit, definitely. The first half, Louise, we were all over them. I feel like we should have scored 2 or 3 goals. Roland, their keeper, got an 8.4 on Footmob. We had a total of 25 shots, 10 of which were on target. So we definitely should have scored more goals. I feel like they did an excellent job of keeping us out the net in that first half. And then the second half, they kind of got back into the game a little bit and had a few more chances. And we not for lack of trying, and not I don't think that we were missing, or I don't think it was bad in the attack what we were doing. I think that they defended so well, and Roland stood on her head. I mean, what a performance.
Yeah, she had a phenomenal performance with Roland. I thought she was related to the Destiny's Child singer.
No,
It says.
no, yeah. Wrong, Kelly.
Oh, okay. But I'm just joking. Oh yeah, a little joke right there. But phenomenal performance by Roland. I think because of Roland and her great performance, she shot down a couple of chances, that clear chances. And look, John, I know I'm gonna sound like super positive and super out there, but I feel that this upcoming game here, it's going to be also a tough one just because of the names on that squad, you know? And if Orlando puts out Seattle, it makes it look like it's nothing. We have something going, John. I mean, I mean, there's only one big. I hate to say big team, but like a team that maybe we haven't faced. This Bright team hasn't faced just yet is Portland, right? Which is coming up as well. But I mean, Seattle is massive. I mean, massive club with a lot of great players. So, I mean, that's another one. We thought Washington was going to be tough. I think this that next game coming up could be also quite a tough one too. But this team again, I would say let's improve in finishing those chances, because those could bite us back against team with more seasoned vets and people that are used to playing you know playoff games, that level of stress, handle that level of stress throughout 90 minutes. So I'm just quite intrigued on how Sep is gonna line up and do all of that against Seattle Rain.
It's going to be interesting. We'll get on to talk a bit more about Seattle in a minute. I wanted to go back to what you were saying on like who to fear. There was an interesting post. I want to say shout out. I hope they don't mind, but Heidi Ann made a post the other day in the Orlando Pride End of SL discussion group on Facebook that we're part of, and saying, which teams do you get nervous for us to play? Here are mine: Portland, KC, Gotham. Uh,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
I think that's a great list. I would say
That's
definitely
fantastic
KC
list right
this
there.
year coming out of nowhere. Gotham, an incredible squad. They're didn't start great, but they'll figure it out, I'm sure. Portland, it's so Sophia Smith, man.
Yeah.
I'm a fear to Sophia Smith. I think she's I mean, love her for U.S. national team. Worry about her greatly against the Pride. I think Banda is the best player in the league in my opinion, but Sophia Smith gives her a run for her money. Maybe other people would say that Sophia is a better player. You could have a debate about that, but definitely two of the best strikers in the league. So when we play Portland, it's going to be great to see. Um, and we'll talk a little bit more about them in a minute because they were the last team that Seattle faced. First, let's stick on the Bay FC game, Luis. There was a bunch of yellow cards and substitutions in the second half. There was more chances for us. I think the big one that stood out for me was the lack of yellow card for the horrible foul. I can't remember when it was. I don't know if it's in the highlights. I just remember it happening at the game. There was a I would say the word disgusting foul, Luis. You remember? I think it was on. I can't remember who it was on, like who got fouled, but it was definitely a Bay FC player who left their feet at like and went 2-footed into the side of one of the Pride players, and the
You
Pride
know what minute it was?
I can't. I have to go back. If you're in the chat, please, and you remember this happening, please let us know, and we'll go look at it. But um,
Well,
the ref only called a foul. It was definitely it was. They didn't even give a yellow card. It could have potentially, I think, been a red card. That one stuck in my mind as being a ridiculous non-call.
I mean, the cool thing was also, yeah. I mean, I remember that, and I know Bay should have had at least three yellow cards, like in the second half, or four. I mean, they were really roughhousing, and this referee just let the ball play and play on. Now, I do want to say that the for this team to withstand that amount of physicality, it's pretty impressive. Them being so young and withstand that level of physicality, like Haley McCutcheon right there. Like, she's like, even the way she runs with determination. You know what I mean? And I think Seb again make great substitutions. With good to see Marta again. For sure. Ali Watt again, speedster. But there are some players that Seb is playing now over 90 minutes. Like Carriabello right there. He's not been taking her of the starting lineup whatsoever, and they're making quite of an impact.
I couldn't take Carrie out of the starting line. Left back, left wing. She's got to play, and she's got to play 90. I think she is massively underrated. I love a left back. She is the perfect left back right now at the moment, in my opinion. She can do everything you need to do, both defensively and offensively. I never see her in situations where she's getting caught out or makes an error. And on attacking side, Louise, the way she gets in the box and starts chopping and turning. And this game, she hit the bar with a cross that could have gone in.
Yeah,
And I feel like that happens every game, right?
yeah, definitely. I mean, like just look at Camberos. And, like, she's getting frustrated, and she just results in the foul. And that's what's going to happen a lot with Banda. Defenders are going to become frustrated, and they're going to go for the foul, and that's going to be good for us because we need to take advantage of the set piece chances that we're getting. And we have already, but we need to see, it's going to happen more often as we keep fighting and to remain on the top. More teams are going to want to do that, especially to Banda, to Marta, and things like that, right? So I'm just happy to see her back, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we need that. Let's read a few more comments, Luis. Stream Jesus says, John and
Minute
Luis.
40 is a foul, says. You okay, John?
Sorry, I was water. Stream Jesus says, John and Luis, how's the new Pride orange jersey grown on you? I think it was just me that was a little bit about the orange
I loved
Pride
it, man.
jersey.
I
Luis
love.
loves it. Don't love him in with me. Look, I love the scarf. I've got
We
this
need to
little
get all
man
that
here.
swag, man.
I've got the logo. I love the orange, everything around it. I have the green T-shirt. I wear that every game. I love that with the little. He's got this little guy on it. But the actual jersey, I just don't think it's for me. I don't think I'll look good in that much orange, Luis. It's not my color. But I think the Pride team when they're wearing it on the field, I think they look great. I love whenever I play as Pride on FC 24, I always put them in the orange kit. So there you go.
Look, whoever came up, I don't know if it was communications that came up with the idea of the oranges, but you guys are really clever, man. I mean, people love orange juice here in Florida. I love orange juice. I drink it a little bit in the morning. Now I drink Trop 50. Trop 50. New sponsor of LPO. We'll we'll
Yeah,
go
we need like fresh like we need like
right.
a Florida orange juice company to sponsor the Pride
Exactly.
now, and then we'll do like a whole
LPO
bunch of
juice.
Pride merch around the
Right.
orange juice. Yeah, that sounds
That'd
great. A
be
little
fantastic.
call that synchronicity in the business world,
Yeah,
Luis. There
and
we go.
I like the meaning of the jersey. Kind of like when they had the Space Coast jersey, right? The Astra, the Ad Astra kit. That was a beautiful kit as well. Like lately, they've had more exciting kits than I'll be honest with you than Adidas. Sometimes, I think Nike stepped up a long way, allowing them to be really creative. So I like this new orange kit. It says, I think the team will be motivated this next game, says J.A. Texas. Haley McCutcheon is doing an amazing job at the six. Yeah, she's amazing. Minute 40 is the foul, says Sky Dream Productions. What's the playoff format this year and the best of your straight knockout rounds, John?
Can you go to the 39th minute so we can look at that foul while I look that up? I believe it's just the same. It's the top 8 teams in the final standings of the regular season qualify for the playoffs, and then they're seeded in order of record. Like it's the same as last year. I don't think they changed anything, right, Luis? I think there's more teams, but it's still 8, right? It was 8 last year, so it's just straight 8 and then a knockout.
Correct.
That's how it's always been in NWSL.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like
And
it,
last year, Gotham got in at 8th, right above us, and won the whole thing.
correct. That is the in a way what we need. I mean, yes, we want to win, the supporter shield, right? I don't know how to say it. We want to be the best in the league, that's for sure. but the playoffs is another beast. But I am full confident in this team for the playoffs, John.
We've only ever played one game in the playoffs, Luis, and that was in 2017, and we lost. So we need to go get that first playoff win. But right now, I'm thinking more like let's take the title, and then playoffs comes next. I think we should be in this title race all year.
For sure. I don't know why it's just so choppy, but
I don't know either, man.
I don't know.
Technology. Uh,
NW
it doesn't
NWS.
matter if we don't see it. It's not
It's
the
right
end of
here.
the
Look,
world.
4 minutes. There you go. Was I on the wrong one the whole time?
I thought you intentionally wanted the full highlights, Luis. I
No,
thought you
no.
were going for the whole game this game. I was a little bit confused by
I'm
that,
like,
but
what?
you just did the wrong video.
Yeah, I was in the wrong video the whole time. There you go. Okay, right here. Yeah.
No, it's the 39th minute.
No, they cut it because it's the NWSL.
They cut it because it was controversial.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Anyway, that was just one that stuck out in my mind. But anything else on this game, Louise FC, Bay FC, before we go on? I think Marta struggled is the last thing I'll say on it. I think she just couldn't really get into the game and looked a little bit frustrated by that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we are seeing a supporting role, Marta, for the first time in many years. Not so much a starting role, Marta. And I think in a way that's a good thing because she's gonna come fresh off the bench. And just imagine when Angelina is back, she's gonna be okay. I think we need Marta. We need to lay not depend so much on Marta. We've done it for so many seasons. I think this is also her chance she could get, and she could maybe win the big one. Imagine, you know, um, you imagine retiring a champion. I mean, how amazing to put the end of your career retiring a champion, and giving the city of Orlando their first national title.
Well, Luis, I'm glad that I didn't give Marta extra bad juju when I broke her bobblehead.
What did you do, man?
I knocked it off the desk. And here you can see her
You
legs.
tore
She's
don't be
lost her legs. So I'm hoping this is not symbolic of Marta's
the
season.
super glue, man.
She's already come back from injury without her legs. So that's a good sign, right? Here, look, here's her raise stick as well.
Oh, that's a
There
little,
you go.
little,
She gets a
the
little
little, the
stick.
little
There you
stick
go.
right there.
Yeah. Yeah. So
The
I'm
super
gonna
glue,
repair
it's
Marta
also
bobblehead in the hopes that maybe then she'll get scoring goals again. Do you think? I think that'll make sense. All right, Luis. Enough about Bay FC. Let's move on to Seattle Rain this Sunday, 6 o'clock. Valley Sports and NWSL Plus is where you could watch it. Uh, Seattle back to being the Rain. I mean, it was OL Rain. Sorry, back to being Seattle. They were OL Rain for a while, and now they're back. And I also saw the other day, Luis, I believe they are potentially going to look at a partnership with the men's Seattle team. I think right now they're not connected.
Seattle Sounders.
Yeah, I think so. I read that correctly.
That'd be amazing.
But an organization that's had some changes, ups and downs, the whole experiment of being owned by Olympic Lyon didn't really work out, and now they're back to just Seattle Rain, a team that we've known in this league, and so it's good for them, I think, to have their identity. It was nice in preseason. Do you remember that, Luis? They did a whole thing about like the symbol and their logo being back. So I think great for them to be returned to I believe the team they should have always been. So last 3 games for them: a win, a draw, and a loss. And most recently, Luis, they lost in the Cascadia Derby 4-0 to Portland. They got absolutely shellacked. Did you see any of the highlights or watch any of that game?
No, I didn't catch it, but I do want to say that their keeper is fantastic, and she got save of the week, I believe. Laurel Ivory. I wanted to play it, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Just look at this right here. Yeah, right here.
G. Header, fishlock
No,
saved.
that's
Hogan.
Hubley. Sorry,
Closer,
Hubley.
saved on the
Sorry,
line. Hobley.
sorry. I completely butchered their
My
name.
goodness.
Yeah,
But just look at that. Look at that
G.
save right there.
Header, fishlock saved.
what a save.
Yeah,
Closer,
right.
saved on the line.
I mean,
Hobley.
that's the Portland keeper, right, making
That's a
that
Portland
save.
keeper.
Yeah,
Okay.
Goodness.
Okay.
but the on the Seattle side, she got
Yeah,
owned.
she got another one. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then
It
she
was
did
great.
get one. She did make a good save. I remember that too. So
No, but look at the cross though. I mean,
G.
like now we have Ina Morehouse too, so she's been doing better now with that type of cross, with that type of set piece.
G.
You feel confident?
Header.
they were whipping in wide balls all game against Portland, and Portland just basically defended from like the wide positions all the time, clearing the balls out of the box, and then would just hit them on the counter and open them up, and that was it. Like possession wise, Seattle had 54 to Portland's 46, but total shots wise, they're pretty even. And in fact, Portland had more shots on target. So Seattle was just not being effective with the ball. It just seemed like a lot of possession, a lot of wide wing play, crossing box balls into the box. And Portland was just quite comfortable in dealing with it. And then they would spring on the counter and in the transition just open up Seattle. And, with Sophia Smith getting a hat trick of assists and setting up the likes of Sagita and Moultrie for Portland. So it shows, I think, that that's a weakness for Seattle. I don't think they've got enough quality right now to be able to play that way, and especially at home, they're going to want to play that way. And I think it's exactly like we saw against.
There you go. I found it.
We saw against North Carolina Courage, remember, Luis, where they held the ball a lot, and then we just spring and hit them on the counter. So I think that's going to be a similar case here with Seattle. Like they can hold the ball all they want, and then as soon as they lose it, Banda and Co. are just going to open them up in the transition. So maybe we're going to see a similar result.
Also, I remember facing when the Pride faced Fishlock, she was all over the pitch, and I think she's gonna have a really tough time with Morgan and Haley McCutcheon. There, she's gonna have a tough time, and not only that, Bond up top, like you said, and Jay Texas, great point. Phoebe McClernand, former Orlando Pride player, great defender. She's going to be playing for the Rain. I'm so happy that they didn't just bench her after she went to to the Rain. But this is Laurel Ivory. Let's see.
Calling for it. Puts it across. Lifted, saved by Ivory.
What a save, man!
Great reaction save there.
Lifted, saved by Ivory.
I mean, she got a 4.6 on FootMob, so she didn't have the greatest night, but that was the highlight there.
I thought that was impressive, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she was getting peppered by Portland at times. So
I
mean, it was like an own goal, pretty much.
Expecting her own team to clear it out, but
now you see how Kansas City currently hit them. They hit them through the wings, just doing crosses, and their defense was just botching.
Absolute brilliant ball, and it's the center back who ends up getting a touch on.
The coolest part is Orlando has the firepower now to score those type of goals.
Well, I mean, this is not the Rain from other years gone past either, Luis. Like this team is down in 12th. Of 9 games played, they've lost 6 of them. They've got a -7 goal difference. So it's a team that leaks goals even more than Bay FC. And we should have scored more against Bay FC, but we should be at least, be able to get 1 or 2 against these. They have to play out of their skin, I think. And they haven't been doing that so far this year to be able to keep out our attack. And then on the other side, they're just not firing as much as they should be. They're not, in the squad, their leading goal scorer is Bethany Balkler with 3 goals. And then outside of that, everyone else has got 1. I think, yes, they've still got some talent in there, of course. Like Fishlock definitely is always going to be a problem. Latsko, I think, is a real issue on the wing. But this team is not the Seattle of the past. This team is suffering right now, and I'm sure they want to get out of that, but I don't think it's going to happen against us. I don't think Seb is willing to go there and allow them anything because they're Seattle. He's gonna want 3 points
For
away at a
sure.
team that's down in 12th when we're up in the top of the table.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, he's gonna. Yes, they're a team that has a lot of flair, that had a lot of history in the league, but we're the new juggernaut in my opinion right now. I mean, we have all the weapons in our arsenal to contain them and to be on top of them. So I am quite confident to say that the Pride is going to get the W against the Rain, and to me, one of the real tests is going to be Portland. Portland is going to be a real test to me. It says Shinta, Fishluck just gonna whine at the ref like she always does. Let's hope Morehouse doesn't get sent off in the third minute again, like the last game against Seattle. Well, she's doing great, man. I don't wanna jinx Morehouse, man. I don't wanna jinx.
Poor Anna. I was very harsh. I actually posted this week, Luis, about I gave Anna a post because I felt like I should right the wrongs of how rough I was on her earlier in the
What,
season,
man,
which was
you
probably
apologize.
warranted at the time, but now I feel like she's on a good track. She's got the most clean sheets in the league, Luis. She's
Yeah, I
2
mean,
clean sheets on the bounce here.
you're apologizing to the Orlando City keeper. Now you're
No, no,
apologizing to
no, no, no. We're not going there.
the
No, no,
Anna.
no. No, no, no. I do not apologize for Anna's mistakes. She
No,
knows she
I'm just
knows she made a
kidding.
mistake. I just think that now she's really showing that when she's solid, when she's not making those mistakes, I think she's a very good keeper.
Oh yeah,
And as long as she can cut those out and keep them out of her game, then I'm all for Anna being in there. And also, don't forget Louise, she's English, so gotta
oh, there
gotta
you go.
gotta keep in mind one English player that's on the prize. But well,
There
also
you go.
Seb's English, so we're cooking. We're cooking
We
from
need to
that
get an
perspective.
English player in the other side too.
We've had some English players, man. I was, yeah, like Leanne Sanderson. That was a big English player that we
Yeah.
signed.
There you go. So it says score wasn't that bad until the ref gave a BSPK. Rain gave up after that point. Rain had a rough one. Last game lost 4-0. Yeah.
Yeah. And in the Castadia, like they lost 4-0 against your rival. Like that's never good.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and they have a good coach too. I mean, I mean, she's not having the best of seasons with Laura Harvey, but I mean, I think what she's done in the NWSL is important. So I'll give her kudos for that.
I think they'll turn it around. I think they're potentially still a playoff team. I don't think they're like a top team this year, but they can fight for the playoffs. I think still.
They need that Banda player too.
Their attack is just not
Yeah.
they haven't got that star power. I think that
Yeah.
a lot of the other teams now in the league, and luckily we're in that list, have at the moment. I think Latsko is one that they're going to build around
For sure.
as a has been for a while, but as a key player.
We are about almost 100 people live, man. 98. We're 89 people on X. Thank you so much. If you're on X, please retweet the video. It will help us out tremendously with the algorithm. And then we're about 10 people on YouTube. So thank you so much for your support. What you are doing with the show, has been taken over. Jay, Texas, Huitema being injured has affected them as well. Is that how you pronounce it? Huitema or Utima? Sorry.
I don't know. That's a hard that's a hard one for me to
Yeah.
pronounce. Yes, I think that's a key part of their game, what they want to do. So
Seattle's pretty too, man. Seattle I never been, but I
it's
heard
a
really great things.
long road trip. Haitama. There we go.
Hi,
Thank you,
Tima.
Shinta. Thank you.
Sorry, man. Sorry, Shinta.
Seattle it's this is the longest away trip for us, so it's not
It's
easy to
far,
go away.
man.
Thankfully, we're not doing a midweek. Like
It's like going to Russia.
we're not having to go there, come back and play on Wednesday, but we've got until Friday. Sorry, do we play the following game on Friday? When do we play after that? double check. Yes, we
Yeah,
play on Friday at
so we're
home
playing.
against
Yeah,
the
so we're
Thorns.
playing Friday at home against the Thorns, which that's the game to me. You know.
Yeah, so that's the one that everyone's going to be looking at. But we need to get back, get rested. But a long trip out to Seattle, and Angelina for us, obviously, I don't think she's going to be available, but she would have been like a return back to her old club for her. So interesting that she's not going to be able to face her old team. I think she would have played out of her skin in this one. I think she would have been like,
And
yeah, proving a point, Angelina, in this game if she was available.
and look, if the Pride gets 2 back-to-back wins in May, then you do it all over again in June, because the schedule pretty much goes back to what it was in the beginning. So you start facing San Diego, but you go to San Diego, which they probably want some revenge on what we did to them. Then we have to go to North Carolina and face the Courage. Then we face the Utah Royals at home, and then we see Angel City again, but in Los Angeles. And then we go to, and that's another big game, KC Current against the Pride. That's going to be a huge game. So I mean, I just want to see what Seb's going to do with his strategy, with the tactics.
And that's interesting, Luis, because I was going to ask you about the last few games. We've only had a 1-0 against Racing Louisville and a 1-0 against Bay FC. Now I don't want to complain about wins, but I'm just going to play devil's advocate here for a second and say the last 2 games we haven't scored as many as we perhaps would have liked, or we failed to get that second goal to really kill off a game. Should we be concerned about that, or you feel like it's just been the fact that Racing Louisville and Bay FC defended so well, we just weren't able to get it? Do you feel like we're going to get multiple against Seattle?
I mean, I think every win is motivating, and you have to take it not so much as how many goals you score, but how did you play out throughout all 90 minutes. And I think the Pride defensively has shown they're the best team in the league right now. Offensively, they are definitely also showing that Barbara Banda is quite a threat. You got Adriana, you got Ali Watt scoring goals, Summer Yates. So they have a lot of weapons from all sides of the attacking third. So from the flanks, from the middle, from the top. So that's going to be tough for a lot of defenders. Now, a lot of the teams are rough housing. They're playing super extra edgy. It's the first time we've ever faced that because it's the first time that we do so great in the NWSL. Like this domination that we're showing right now, it's the first time, in my opinion, that I personally have seen it. So I'm sure a lot of fans feel the same way as I do. So I think as long as we win, I think winning against Seattle and winning against Portland, it's going to just open Pandora's box for more teams to go out for blood and try to beat us. And we're going to have those games that we're going to have 2 games and we may draw a game, win another one, and then maybe on the third one we go 5-0, right? But the whole point is we need to keep that momentum of staying compact defensively and score goals when matter, because the other team also plays. I don't think the Pride's going to go like and on a winning streak that it's gonna last the whole year, right? So but definitely we're gonna be in the playoff picture for sure, and I just can't wait for that. I'm excited.
Definitely. The wider picture of NWSL, Luis, we try to keep on top of it. But I want to talk about somebody I saw was in the press box with you, and is also somebody who covers the league. Dino, he didn't realize that you were on the pod. He was sitting next to you in the press box, and he asked the question after the game as well. He has a podcast called Into the Channel. They cover everything on the wider league of NWSL. So I encourage people to check them out if you want to get a bigger picture of the NWSL and some opinions. Also, the Attacking Third is a really good one that CBS Sports does. It's just got some good commentators on there. I think it's important, Luis, to educate ourselves in the world of NWSL and what's happening this year. Yes, we are a top dog, but we need to keep an eye on the Spirit and the Thorns and Kansas City Current, because that's our competition this year. So I want to know, is who's firing, who's scoring, who are the threats, who to watch out for. Kansas City Current being the big one that we haven't played yet, and Portland Thorns. So
Yeah,
excited for the future, but I don't think there's anybody that we can't beat.
Yeah, KC Current and Portland Thorns are going to be the two biggest tests for Orlando. And if we get a huge result against Portland, NWSL, you better watch out, man. You better not run. You better not hide. Because Santa
I,
Claus is coming to town.
we talked about the last pod, the lack of respect that we're getting. It was outrageous that we didn't get any Pride players, like no Emily Sams, no Angelina in the April, March/April match of the team of the month.
Mm-hmm.
So we better get some in May. Like if Banda is not player of the month in May, then I think something is seriously up, and I question seriously some people's judgment, because it gets to a point where we're performing so well. I don't care if you have other teams that the media likes more than us. You just can't ignore us eventually, right?
It
And
could be.
that's where we're at the point where we are. You cannot be ignored now.
Again, it could be our market.
I think for years they were used to not talking about us, right?
Exactly.
So that's changing habits.
But we need to show as a city, in my opinion, just like, because people have been great with the Magic also. People have been great with OCSC. And I think now people are ready to embrace the Pride, and I think that's what they need to do. Show it in the stands, and I think just their play is, the reason why they're starting to talk about it. I mean, I've seen OCSC pods giving kudos and trying to talk about the Pride, because we've been pushing that hardcore, and obviously we don't want to take any credit, but obviously we're trying to start something new here, be a little different, and also support something that's culturally being really positive for the community, which is the Orlando Pride. And it's cool that that's making the wheel turn, and I think the more results they're going to be getting, uh, more people are going to start talking about it, and then all of a sudden you're going to see, is that Eli Lesser? Oh my God, with a Orlando Pride shirt? Is that Tom Bogart? Talking about so eventually the crossover is going to happen, and I think that's going to be fantastic. I just can't wait.
I hope so. I think, like we talked about, other teams in the league and their attendance levels, and that's what we want for this team. That's what they deserve. Interesting comment here from Jen. It says Marta and Adriana were angry when the win against San Diego was called an upset. Yeah, I mean, I see it that way. Like San Diego, of course, historically, but when you look at this year, when we played them, they were not in good form, and they honestly, the teams that we played, Luis, they looked the worst. They looked the least. They looked the most disjointed, the most like didn't know what they were doing, and put a smile on my face. Everybody knows I don't like Alex Morgan anyway, so it's great to see her struggling up front, getting no service for the San Diego Wave. But I don't think that they're down and out completely. I think that they'll be back, and the league will get very excited when they
I mean, they're gonna. Well, they're definitely. I mean, it's gonna definitely spark up. Could spark up a rivalry, right? When's the last?
Messiah Bright's not getting any minutes. I'll tell you that.
When's the last rivalry Orlando has had in the NWSL? Do you recall? So has there been one? There needs to be a real rivalry. I think that could be it.
I don't know.
Because they're gonna go out for blood right there. They're gonna go out. I mean, I think that the West Coast teams are gonna go out to trying to kill the Pride, especially Angel City and
I feel like we just have beef with Californian teams. It's just like I just don't like the Californian teams. Maybe San Diego is in that, and maybe now AFC. Are we gonna start something with them?
Yeah, it says they can win without the 12th man, says Rachel. Shinta 0013. We have better record against San Diego. Hines has Tony's number. Bright plays for AC.
Yeah, I
No.
got that. I forgot. I'm sorry. I got my
Yeah.
teams mixed up from California there for a
That's
second.
it. They're always trying to throw shade for no reason, honestly. That's right. I mean, think about it. I mean, they got waves. We got waves too, man. We got Cocoa Beach. We got the pier, man. You know?
Yeah, I think they for years probably didn't even consider us, Luis. They're just like, oh, I'm gonna go with Pride, probably get a win. They're not very good, and now they got to deal with us. So that's what I like about it. Now they're like, oh, we got to play the Pride, and they got Banda and Adriana and Marta and everybody else. Like, what the hell are we gonna
Florida
do?
still citrus. That's right. Now,
Florida's orange, baby.
well, now that we had the Tampa Bay Sun, but that's in a different league, though, right?
Yeah.
That could be a cool, fun derby, a little friendly match,
They announced the new team in the USL Women's League that was also going to be called the Valkyries, like the Orlando. So there's a Valkyries out there now in that league as well.
But they're not from Orlando, I'm assuming, right? Because the Valkyries is
So it's a USL new women's team. They're popping up all the time. They're announcing their league. I think the start some point in the next few months.
Where are they from? The Valkyries?
The Valkyrie, I think it's Bay. It's compete with Bay FC. They've launched it. So we've got two brand new teams in two different women's leagues, both in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. And I don't know. It would be cool to see, how in Europe, teams like Barcelona, Manchester, City or United, they have their little, commemorative cups, kind of like a commemorative cup, kind of presenting the new squad of the season, right? In a way, it would be cool to see, Orlando Pride kind of reaching out and networking with other leagues or other teams, maybe from overseas, coming down, and maybe you could face Corinthians from Marta and Adriana, right? They both place in Corinthians.
They're doing this cup out in that Wrexham's in, and the Racing Louisville team is gone. It's like an international cup with different teams from around the world.
11 or 7 versus 7?
I think it's for charity. I think it's TST. I can't remember exactly. Maybe someone in the chat knows what I'm talking about. But that's something we could do. I think we should consider hosting like a preseason tournament or something like that, because we're our location. You could bring Arsenal or Chelsea, bring a team from Brazil. Let's do our own little She Believes type style cup here in Orlando with the Pride. I would love to see like Pride versus Barca, or
oh man,
Pride, yeah, like
Oof.
Pride versus Arsenal, Pride versus Chelsea. Probably like bring me a top like or Olympic Lyon, like great amazing team in women's soccer. PSG, like I would love to see a little.
Bring me Brian Albion, Poppy Pattinson.
Bristol City, come on, give me the worst team.
It could be
that's where I'm from.
Tigres
from
Bristol, right?
Louis,
Liga Femenil, right? Liga Femenil from
Mexico.
Yeah,
there you go. I think we could mix it up and end up with something that Rachel commented. TST, that's the name of the tournament I was talking about, Luis. It's going to be a cool thing for charity that multiple teams are involved with. So I would love to see us do something like that, or maybe get invited to something like that in the future. It's in the middle of the season, which I don't love. I would rather do it during preseason, so we're not at risk of injuries and stuff, but or like postseason. But
Hines wasn't happy with the striker post. Bay game said Watt will be starting, so it will be interesting to see what forward sits the next game, says Shinta. Interesting. The World International Champions Cup usually has Barca, Chelsea, Man City, Lyon, but Orlando hasn't been involved. If we win this season, they should invite us. Man, that'd be amazing, to be honest.
Is there a lot of NWSL teams ever invited into that? I wonder.
I know Portland was invited on
European thing, maybe. Okay.
I remember Portland was invited on the last one, I believe. With now and I think
I just want to see this Pride team go up against some international competition, Luis. I think that would be cool to see. I mean,
The only
Wow.
bad thing with that is, and I know it's gonna sound, is that they could poach a lot of our players. So you will see, Barca coming in and be like, "Hey, we're Barcelona, Banda. You want to come over here?"
I feel like it goes the other way
You
sometimes
think
in the
so?
women's soccer. I don't know. I don't feel
True,
like it's
true, true. You could probably
as too.
say that, right?
It's not as like I feel like NWSL competes with Premier League, competes with the
True.
French league and the
I
German.
agree. I
I
agree.
feel like we're up there still, and even Australian league's pretty good. So there's there. I don't think that we're now. I think like maybe you get poached to go Barca or something like a bigger team, but I don't know
Mhm.
necessarily like a bigger league. And that's a good thing about the women's game, right? We are if we're at the top at the end of SL, we're a top team in the world.
That's great. I'm excited. We risk more injuries with 30+ extra time because of inexplicable whistles and long VAR visits, says Rachel. I want to play the best 11. There you go. That'd be great. I love it. I love this confidence, the newfound confidence we have. This we're actually very, very positive, about this team, and it's thanks to the players and thanks to the staff and the front office. They've been doing an amazing job the past 2 seasons, I believe. You know, making this team work like a clockwork, and now we're seeing the results, right, John?
It's been an incredible turnaround, and I can't say enough good things about Seb
Yeah,
and also Haley. I think it was great to have her pop in on the show the other day, and
yeah,
it shows that she's involved in every part of the club on the fan side as well as everything that she's done back of house to turn this organization around. I mean, it's been a complete 180, Luis.
for sure. Do we have anything that we want to talk about outside
Uh,
of
I don't
score
think so.
predictions?
I think we could do our score prediction. If anyone else has any more comments, we'll read those out. But we're getting close to wrapping up here, Luis.
You want to do the lineup, or you just want to
Yeah,
do
I
the...
think we should do a lineup. I think that's
Okay,
always good to do.
and
It's
then we
hard
can
to
do
do
the
a
score
pride lineup.
predictions real
I'll tell
quick.
you that.
Thank you to the 108 people watching live right now. Thank you so much for your support. We've been
Vamos
killing it.
Pride.
Vamos Pride. That's what I'm saying. I know you guys are gonna kill me, but I'm gonna have to put this. You know what I mean? Because I got purple. So Morehouse, right? Are you ready to go for
Yep.
Macron?
No. Anna cemented her position.
Now, I believe the back four is going to be the same one we've seen against Bay.
I think so.
So you're looking at Sam's, Rafael, Kylie, and Abello.
I feel for Brie Martinez, man.
You have
Hafa's
to
come
understand,
back
Emily
in.
Sam's has a yellow card, right? So maybe we see Brie Martinez.
Maybe if they worried about her getting another yellow and they want to save her for Portland.
For Portland, yeah.
Could be a Brie Martinez game. I could see that.
It could be a Brie Martinez, and then also
she's played really well. She's only just got pushed out because we have too many good defenders. It's not like she got dropped for bad play. She had a red card, and then she hasn't been able to get back in.
Another one that has a yellow card is Rafa. So
I'll still think Rafa will play, though.
You think Rafa will play? Okay.
Yeah.
And then
I feel like he likes the Rafa Kylie partnership.
No, I think we're gonna see the same, the 4-4-2 with the right here, like that 4-4-2.
Morgan and
yeah, like that. So Morgan and Haley right here.
Yeah,
I mean, talk about really holding the ball and and making the defender's job much easier. Haley is she needs to, I don't know, I mean,
I think I question whether she should go back to right back. Honestly, Louise,
no, man. Leave
she's
her
so
there, man.
good at the
She's so
six,
good
and
at every
it's
position.
something that I don't know if we read that out or not. But Jen made a comment about that too, how good she is at the six, and I completely agree. I think she's just such a good D mid. I mean, she cleans up and then lays off the play. She's always there. She never seems to be, you know, out of position or like not where she should be. She's always ready to cover the back line and just helps us be a lot more solid. And it's not where she started at the beginning of the year, but she's done a heck of a job since we put her in there out of necessity. And now I'm wondering even whether you ever want to take her out.
No, I agree. Look, we may see this happening right here and then right there. So to me, I think this is a great lineup. Now, you could
Rachel
say
feels like Sam's is definitely going to start, Luis.
who?
You see that comment from Rachel? Says Sam's is definitely going to start. Yellows under certain refs are head scratchers, but she only usually makes them on a sacrifice play. I mean,
Makes
that's
sense.
probably true. I feel like Sam's is an integral part of this team.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
So I feel it would
she's
be a
been great.
shame to drop her, but also I do really want her there for Portland. So it would be really sucky if she got the yellow card and then wasn't there for Portland.
Now, here for Yuli Doyle, you could put Ali Watt, but I think off the bench she's been doing pretty good. So,
Oh, I
uh,
miss Ali in that starting lineup, man. I gotta say, and also like, is Marta coming back now because she came off the bench? Are we thinking Marta's gonna get
I don't
starts?
know if she's gonna start, man.
Summer's been killing it.
I
It would
think
be a
Summer's
shame
been
to.
killing it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
we've got too many good attackers, Luis. Like
But
I
yeah,
think all six of them should be in a starting lineup if we could.
but look, Morgan and like, look, if you could switch this and you could do a 4-3, um, 4-3-2-1 eventually. If you take Summer, you put Marta, and then Haley will go more towards the left. Morgan will go in the middle,
I
and
feel
then
like
maybe
last game it was a 4-2-3-1. I don't know.
right,
It seemed to me like someone was in the 10 a lot.
right, because in transition, this is when this
When
is
we
on paper
defend.
when they're
Yeah.
defending,
Yeah.
right? When they're
Someone
defending,
drops back into that
right?
position.
And but
Yeah.
when they're attacking, I mean, yeah, you can switch the tactical drawing of Seb to say, hey, drop to a 4-2-3-1, and then Summer will just slide to the middle, and you'll have it'll make more sense that way. Um, you could change Marta for Summer. I think Marta's did really good in the last game coming off the bench. And it would be a great. I mean, imagine you have one of the best players in the world as your sub. Like, that's freaking crazy.
It's a good problem to have, is what I
But
would
it's a
say,
great problem
Luis.
to have for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm encouraged by how well Summer's doing. So again, that's the thing. All of these players, I don't want to drop one for the other because they're all playing so well, and that's a great problem to have. Shinta says, last season I was screaming Orlando to play McCutcheon at the 6 when we had no one. Now we're rich in that position. They play her there. Lol. Yeah, I mean, we were rich in that position until we had a bunch of injuries, Shinta. So I think that now she's been there, and great to see Morgan back, but we still don't, unless you want to start playing Allie all the time. We don't have Angelina, we don't have Luana, so we are still light in the D mid position, in my opinion. So I think she's done a great job out of necessity, but clearly Seb knew, and everybody knows that she was once a very good D mid. And the roles is something that we see all the time, Luis. The roles between fullback and defensive midfield, like the skill set that you need as that profile of player, is the same. It's basically the same. So that's why like Rachel says, Carriabello could play anywhere, right? Carriabello could play
That's
D mid
correct.
as well, because of that same reason. They've got some. I'm sure Emily Sams, if you put her in D mid, I'm sure she'd kill it as well. Like I have no doubt about that. It's that ability to be a defensive player, but also go forward in the attack. That's what you need from all of those positions.
No, definitely. And the way they're getting to know each other to play really, really by muscle memory, it's crazy. They're such an it seems like they're in cruise control sometimes. They already muscle memory. They know where they are. And it's just great. I think Seb has developed a system that a player like Banda that's just brand new into his system coming in and boom, he making an immediate impact. I don't know how he's doing it, but adheres very easy into the starting 11 and also playing with all the other players that have been playing together for over 2 seasons. So I just think that's good on Giles and Sep. Kudos to them. And look, I think this is going to be the lineup, and I think it's a very competitive one. And you can make substitutions as Orlando scores. If Orlando's up 2-0 by the end of the half, you can just literally either. I don't recommend parking the bus, but I do recommend maybe Amanda comes in for Julie, and then maybe Ali Watt comes for Adriana, because she just came out of injury.
We've seen Seb do that. He definitely makes those. Corey Dyke came on last game.
Corey Dyke for sure. Ali Limos.
Yeah. So
you can give Haley some rest. You know what I mean? So
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Score prediction, Luis, on this one. I'm gonna go 3-1 to the Pride.
I go 4-0 Pride.
Oh man, poor Seattle Reign. We have lost 4-0 to the
We're gonna be on the second third
4-0
again.
to us.
We're gonna be everywhere.
I think it's I would be shocked if we get a draw or a loss in this
first
game.
Banda hat trick.
I would love to see a Banda hat trick. We're getting closer every game. So
first Banda hat trick.
Let's see. She didn't score last game, Luis.
Hey.
But we'll allow it for one game, Barbara.
He says, "Look, we can't underestimate Laura Ivory. Her saves are bonkers."
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah,
we
Laura
looked at
Ivory,
a few of her saves. So hopefully we don't get another keeper that stands on their head, Luis, like against last game, because it's frustrating. We create so many attacks and then they just keep saving them. So we don't want that. I want plenty of goals in this Pride game to keep us. We gotta catch up with the KC Current, who are 2 ahead on goal difference. So who are they playing? I haven't checked that actually. Let's see. They are playing Racing Louisville at home on Saturday. So we'll already know whether they win or lose going into this game. So it could be that we know that if we get a win, we're back on top. We'll see if KC Current if Racing Louisville can help us out against the Current. Thank you to everybody who is here with us live. What are we up to now, Luis?
We are 113 people live, John.
107
on Twitter, and about 7 people live on YouTube. So thank you so much for watching.
Thank you, everybody. We it's so much fun to do this and have your comments and opinions as we go. It really, it gives us some more things to talk about. It creates conversation. We appreciate it. So thank you for being here and dropping your comments. If you're listening to us, you can always join in the conversation and join us live on at Loud and Proud Orlando on YouTube, or on X. We're also live as well, which is at LPO_podcasts here every Tuesday night. Come and join us, drop your comments, or if you just enjoy listening later, that's fine too. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. However you get your podcast content, whether that's video form on YouTube or Apple or Spotify, doesn't make a difference. We just appreciate you listening and supporting. So thank you. If you want to interact with us on social media, we're at LPO Podcasts on X, like I mentioned, and Instagram as well. That's where you can find us. And on Facebook as Loud and Proud Orlando. Luis, any final thoughts before we sign off for the night? I'm excited for Sunday. Let's get another win, man. I'm this Pride team. Every time I watch them, it's just joyful. Just happiness.
For sure. I wanna tell everyone to join our YouTube channel. I want to commend everybody that was watching. If you don't have us, if you're not subscribed to YouTube, to our YouTube channel, do it. We're like 956 subscribers, man. I wouldn't believe it.
Close to that 1K.
Getting close to the 1K. So there's gonna be also, we're probably gonna be thinking of doing an event as well. So for for everybody to celebrate with us. And again, we have Pride content, and it's all time stamped. Usually the pre-recorded videos for the press conferences and tail of the tape, and also our City Pod available on Mondays and Thursdays, and obviously the Pride Pod's available on Tuesdays around 7 p.m. So spread the word, tell your friends, and I'm just excited that Pride is doing so great, and they're actually looking like a championship team.
For sure, Luis. I'm going to leave you with one final little exciting nugget of information. Back in March of 2024, a few months ago, something I didn't even think twice about at the time, but the CONCACAF have announced that there will be a CONCACAF Women's Champions Cup coming soon in the near future.
Wow.
And right now, where we are in the league, that means that Pride could potentially be looking like a Champions League team in the future. So we won an international competition, Luis. We're on the right path, and that would be super exciting to be part of that first iteration of Women's Champions League.
We need to get that those trophies for the Pride right there on that shrine that they made at the stadium. You know what I mean? I don't know. I call it a shrine. Sorry if anybody from the club is watching. It's just we need to have a. I mean, it would be just so massive. That literally, as a city, will make us so massive. I mean, putting Orlando in to be the best. You could be best in your league, but then you could be now the best in the whole continent. I mean, that's just phenomenal. And if you go and you win the world one, because it's gonna be a world championship, I'm assuming, right? If there's a CCL,
yeah, it plays. They're talking about this video. I just put it here in the comments. Anybody want to check that out on YouTube? It talks about the Women's Club World Cup, so it's a play into that as well. So it's just like we would expect.
Wow, that's
great!
amazing.
It's going to be a potential. I mean, maybe we're getting way ahead of ourselves here, Luis, but there's nothing on exactly how you qualify.
Dare to dream.
Dare to dream, right? But right now, I'm thinking if we end at the top of this table, what happens? Where does that sit? That's great. We win, whatever. But if we then get put into something next year where we're playing international soccer, that's really exciting.
Yeah, that is really exciting not only for women's sports, but I think in general for soccer in the city of Orlando. I mean, it's huge. You imagine like where you could show your young daughter, like, hey, look, you could play against like top level best players in the sport. Super motivating, so Vamos Pride. I'm excited.
Vamos Pride. Let's get this win against Seattle on Sunday.
All right, guys, have a wonderful night.
Bye.